A chance for the Chargers, and they score!
In the front, Fuzzy again!
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Man About Town, a production of 321 Media. We are here in absolutely beautiful but somewhat chilly downtown Westerly. I actually saw the guys on the news this morning. They were showing Providence yesterday with snowflakes coming down.
I was in Providence yesterday.
Oh, you
And
were?
I saw said snowflakes, yes.
Wow.
I was in Uncasville and I saw snowflakes.
I didn't see snowflakes, but we should
I actually have a video of me going, is it snowing?
Oh, I know.
Like,
We should
know.
tell everybody that the people who saw snowflakes down at the end of the table are my two producers, executive producer DJ Gadget, and our co-producer Roxy the Radio Dog.
she's
You
over
might
there.
hear
Yay,
a bark
Roxy.
now and then.
I know. That's you.
And right next to
I
me
know.
is is getting jumped by Roxy the Radio Dog, is Carly Callahan. She is, I always forget the title, executive director.
That's it. That's it. You got it.
Executive director
Mhm.
of the United. And in about 72 hours, there are going to be strange things hanging all over the United
Yeah.
and brought down, and smells and people and total pandemonium, right?
In the
It's-
best of ways, it's the culmination of SOUPY season.
It's soupy time again.
SOUPY season again. I think we need a SOUPY carol next year.
All
Do you know
right.
what I mean?
Ooh,
Can we work on that?
I can work on that.
Yeah, a custom SOUPY song.
Mhm.
Like it's the most wonderful time of the year, but like set SOUPY specific.
Yes.
I feel like
Should we have a weird Sterly
with the
contest?
And the sausage is hanging,
Yeah,
and people
yes.
are banging.
Yes.
People are banging?
Yes.
Oh my Lanta. I didn't know
I don't
you
know
guys
if that's
do-
part of
Bang,
SOUPY
bang.
season.
We'll call it hot for soupy.
For SOUPY.
All right. For the uninitiated, since we do stream worldwide, and they're saying, what are these people talking about? Can you tell people what soupy is?
I can, and I can tell it by telling my discovery of
Yes,
SOUPY,
I love
which
your
you've heard a
story.
million times.
I don't
both of
care.
you.
It's funny.
Okay,
Love
so I started this role in November of 22.
Right.
And, you know, when you are new to a role in an organization or new to any community, really, it's a period in the beginning, I think, of listening more than asking questions, right?
Right.
And so I was taking it all in. And, you know, first starting a job is exhausting because everything's new. But I was making a point to listen and just take it in and then kind of compile my questions at a later date, unless they were urgently needed to be answered.
Right.
So I heard SOUPY being mentioned hither and yonder in those first few months, weeks, really. And
And you never stopped to say, what are you talking
well, I thought
about?
I assumed that it was an affectionate term for soup. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Campbell's, Heinz.
yeah, and you know how it's like, oh, honey, poopsie doopsie, soupy. You know, I
Mhm.
thought it was like, I thought it was that kind of a thing
Yeah.
where there was an affection for soup to the point that it was soupy.
Mm.
And I therefore thought, okay, well, that is interesting. And I get it because I was always a fan when I was working of like Hale and Hardy in New York and like the
Sure.
little soup. And, you know, there was the soup Nazi guy, you know, what was
Right.
that, Seinfeld or whatever?
Seinfeld.
Yeah. And so I assumed that Westerly just had a thing for soup and therefore there was an endearing term. Anyway, so that was in November. The days and the weeks go by. Now we are in January. And I'm feeling a little more comfortable, getting my feet underneath me a little bit, understanding the lay of the land a little bit, and giving myself more permission to ask questions. And what happened was I heard about how SOUPY was being hung in basements. And there were SOUPY cellars. And I had a
And now you're thinking of bowls of soup
yeah.
attached to rope.
Yeah.
hanging.
And so I went through a brief period where I took a little detour from my career path and went to culinary school. in New York for 9 months at Peter Kump's, which was then ICE. And anyway, so I'm not like a stranger to different types of food types and cultures and
Right.
traditions and everything. But I thought to myself, I have never heard of a soup that needed to be hung, almost like a farmer's cheese or something.
Right.
So I said to some of my colleagues on my team, what is this thing called SOUPY? And that was my introduction to sopressata, which for those of you out there that aren't from Westerly, so sopressata is something that most people know. It's an Italian pepperoni, essentially, right? And sopressata you'll have on charcuterie plates and all sorts of things. And it's a common thing. But soupy is the variety of, now my soupy aficionados out there are going to call in and say that's an incorrect description, and you're probably right. But soupy is a variety of sopressata that is made in Westerly in the Calabrian tradition, and it is the Westerly soupy, and the soupy made in this area is a very specific type of soupy in terms of not just taste but also color. It's got paprika in it, so it's a red soupy.
Right.
It looks like a pepperoni, which is blasphemous to say that it's like pepperoni.
It is not like pepperoni.
But you know what I mean? Like if you had to be like, if you're out there and you have no idea what to imagine for soupy, if you think pepperoni, it's kind of pepperoni adjacent, right? Would you say?
No.
Okay.
I love you so much.
Okay.
I do. I love you so much, but I can't say it. I don't like pepperoni. That's why.
Yeah. I mean,
pepperoni is very acidic. I guess.
Yeah. Soupy is different.
Sure.
I mean, but like the visual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a circle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a circle. And so what's so beautiful about soupy is that it is a tradition that has been alive and well in this community for many, many years. A lot of people in this community have soupy cellars. They gather just after the holidays as a family, and they
It's all about family.
Yeah, and they mix their own soupy, which is a combination of the meat, which is usually like a chopped pork shoulder, and then a combination of spices, things like fennel, paprika, chili, chili powder, cayenne, all sorts of stuff. And so
every family's got their own recipe.
Has their own recipe. Yep. So what happens is the families gather, and it's a big process to make soupy, to get the meat prepared, whether you're hand grinding it or whether you're or using a machine, or whether back in the day they used
That's
to
why you have
chop
big
it.
Italian families.
Yeah, and then
to make the
like
soupy.
stuffing the thing, and so it's a whole thing. And then the soupy hangs and it cures.
It ripens, right?
So the salt, it's got a lot of salt in it, and so people say, "Oh, gross! It's uncooked." It's not. It's cured meat. So the moisture is drawn out of the meat. Right. So, and bacteria can't live without some sort of moisture. So it's a dry cured meat that cures in the basement. And the term terroir with wine.
No.
So terroir is like the taste of wine or cheese is influenced by what it is made of and the terrain. Where it is. So like a grape, for example, in a more clay soil is going to taste different than a grape in more of a more soily soil.
Right.
And similarly, like if you have
a moisture soil.
If you have a cheese with the cows that are eating alpine grass and flowers, that milk and subsequently the cheese is going to taste different than a cow that's a farm-raised cow that's eating grains. So the terroir, where something is created, influences the taste profile. And what's so cool about soupy is that the terroir, meaning where the soupy is cured, also contributes to the taste profile. So my basement is going to taste a little different than your basement,
right?
Which is very, very cool.
And the one thing you mentioned, just to clarify, you mentioned Calabrian. Again, for folks that don't know, Calabria is the very south of Italy.
Right.
And the majority of the Italians in Westerly came from Calabria, one family after the other, from what I understand, to originally work in the granite works.
Yep.
And that's where you have Calabrian traditions, and there's a lot of it
Yep,
here.
there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And
You don't
It's
hear
been
of
since-
Northern Italians so much, not in Westerly.
No.
Right.
I think they migrated here in the 1900s, and then all the factories and quarries where
yep,
Yeah.
they worked.
Yep.
And one or two would come, and then they'd bring over, as they made money, they'd bring over the relatives and all of that.
yep, it's so cool.
And they make their own wine.
Yep, they make their own wine.
They make their own soupy.
right.
You don't want to know what they do at Easter with a goat, because I've heard about that from one of the families I know well. But they do sacrificial things, the real true Calabrians.
The
Mhm.
opinions expressed on this radio station are not those of 321 Media.
No, this has
It
nothing to
is-
do with opinion. This has to do with fact.
Well,
I-
it's so the soupy is harvested essentially, right, at around Easter,
Exactly.
which is why we're in soupy season. Which
January
is
is
why
when they're
it is.
making it. Right.
Right. And so for those out there that are curious about this, and there are so many that are curious about this,
The movie.
wonderful Betty Jo Cagini and Chris Walsh put together a documentary
Oh, that's
that
right.
is called Westerly's Gold. That Westerly's Gold, sweet, spicy, and full of tradition. And so to go back a little bit, last year at this time we had our first ever Soupy Fest, which the original idea for this came from our wonderful artistic director Tony Nunes, who had always thought we should do something around Soupy. And last
He
year,
was right.
and last
I think
year we
it's
said-
bigger than he expected.
yeah, totally. And so last year we said let's do this, and Soupy Fest last year was just one event, and the event Soupy Fest proper is kind of twofold. The first part is a tasting that our participants come in and they can try Soupy in all of its various forms through many vendors that have everything from Soupy paired with seafood to Soupy on pizza to a Soupy cocktail, all sorts of stuff. And
Soupy
then-
cocktail.
Yeah, at the-
I could
the
actually
cafe.
a Manhattan
Yeah, it's
with
good.
with soupy in it, or even a martini with soupy in it.
Yeah,
I am sober, and I love being sober. That sounds good though.
yeah. The cafe makes a dipper sipper, which is a cocktail that is soupy inspired, and it has that same kind of flavor profile, and it's really quite delicious. So that's kind of one part of being at Soupy Fest. And then the other part of Soupy Fest is we ask families to enter their Soupy into a competition. And we got about 60 sticks of Soupy this year. And
Wow.
from that 60, it was whittled down to 9 finalists and last year's Soupy champion. And those final Soupy entries are tasted and judged by a panel of professional celebrity judges led by the wonderful Steve Sciarippa of Sopranos fame, who's our MC for the event. And the
Who does the whittling down, though? Who are the judges for
if I
that?
shared that
You
with
can't
you,
know.
then I
Oh.
wouldn't.
Nope, I'm
You
not
may
allowing
not-
that. I was
yeah.
gonna say
No, I
Nope.
no. You
I'll
both
take us
you
right
both
off the air.
misunderstood. I am not looking for names.
Okay, good.
I just wanted to know, are they people that work at the United? Are they people you dragged out of the Nick when they had too much to drink? Or people that got off the train? Or you're not going to tell me anything? Okay, we move on.
Westerly's best kept secret are
She
the
just
judges.
smiles and shakes her head.
I also
so-
want to add too. I don't know who else was involved, so I'm sorry. But I do know Mary Shalaba was a
Yes.
big part
Yes.
of getting. Well, I think back in '90s, like Westerly was the soupy capital,
Oh,
but
the
now we have
plaque.
the sign.
It's awesome.
The,
Yeah,
the
And Mary
plaque.
It's amazing.
She did all of
Yes.
that.
Did
was
she?
the
I
field
wasn't
guide.
sure. I didn't want
Yeah.
to forget anyone, but I know
Yep.
that like it's just such a cool honor to be her friend.
She's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
And she was, and thank you for bringing her up, because she was one of the kind of the drivers and continues to be a driver behind recognizing this incredible culinary tradition that we have that really defines community. And this documentary, to go back to it quickly, it was part of this year. We expanded Soupy Fest into a whole Soupy series because we wanted to be able to accommodate and share Soupy and the story of Soupy and the tradition in this community with as many people as possible. We were very fortunate to get funding from Rhode Island Commerce to do a whole
Great.
SOUPY series, which started with an indoor bocce tournament, where we had an indoor bocce invitational. It included performances by Sal the Voice, who's a wonderful kind of
Oh, that you can
Sinatra-esque-
mention.
Yeah, I can talk
Sal
about
the
that.
Voice.
Tammy Pescatelli, the comedian. We had a SOUPY cocktail thing. And we had a shorter documentary that was fantastic. And then the full-length documentary, Westerly's Gold, that premiered as part of the SOUPY series. And this thing premiered in our black box and sold out very, very quickly. And
It was
since
on
then-
Channel 10 yesterday.
Yes.
I happened to see that. I never
Yeah.
watch TV in the middle of the day. And I flipped it on. I was too late for the news.
Yep.
And I flipped it on, and there was Betty Jo Cugini and
yep,
Chris Walsh.
yep.
And I saw the
They're
interview.
awesome. It was there. So this documentary, when we premiered it, people left with tears in their eyes, because I believe that SOUPY is about a whole lot more than just a cured meat product.
Well,
it's
about family.
tradition.
Well, it's about
story,
it
sense
is
of
your
place,
life. Like when you grow
community.
up like that, I remember shucking corn with my grandmother,
Yep.
and we got a big pot that was like as tall as me,
Mhm.
and we would just shuck corn in the yard and throw it all into the yard because compost, and we would throw the corn in, and then we'd boil all the corn.
Yep.
Like stuff like that
Yep.
is the essence of who you are. That's
Yep.
a core memory.
You're right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're exactly right.
And it's just, and it's interesting because I was just having a meeting with a wonderful friend of the Uniteds, and we were talking about SOUPY, and I was saying to him that there's a nostalgia that we all have for that, as you said, DJ, like core memory, sense of, I don't know, sense of place and tradition and identity. And it's about
who you
so
are.
much more than
Yeah.
SOUPY. And even if you're not Italian, I wish I were Italian. I'm a total mutt. I have like every European country in me, except
okay.
it's
So
not
is
Except
Roxy.
Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they let
yeah.
you in here
I know,
anyway.
I know. With a name like Callahan, any day
Yeah.
now I'm going to be run out of town. But it's been a good ride while I've been here. But it's I feel like there is such a profound appetite, which is, pun intended,
Mm.
for this sense of understanding of who we are, where we've come from, and how we can come together. And so this documentary, going back to it, for those that are interested out there, we keep on screening this thing and people keep on coming. And so Friday is SOUPY Eve, the day before SOUPY Fest.
SOUPY Eve.
And we have
Love it.
screenings at 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 6 o'clock of this documentary. And I would encourage anyone out there, if you have time on Friday, come and see it. It's so cool. And even if you're like, I don't care about cured meat, I'm not Italian, it really speaks to something greater than just the topic.
Well, it speaks to La Familia.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the biggest thing I think it's a misconception about Westerly that you have to be from here to be accepted here,
I agree.
because I'm not from here. I'm not going to pretend I'm from here. I've never lived in
None
Westerly.
of us are.
None
the
of us
three
are.
of us.
But Westerly has the group that is accepted, which is from here. So it seems like, oh, you have to be from here. But there's another piece of that
Yeah.
everybody misses. And it's people who care about this community
Mhm.
enough to keep it going exactly the way it's always been.
Mhm, mhm.
And it's tradition, and it's family, and it's honoring Italy, and it's having respect
Mhm.
for what Westerly is. And that is what you need to be accepted in Westerly.
Mhm. I agree
That's
with
it.
that.
Community
And
programming.
it comes down to respect.
Yep.
Respect the traditions.
Yep.
Respect the family.
But if you
Yep.
want to come here and you want to put up a big billboard in like a store that has nothing to do, like, they're going to be like, no, get out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you want to change the fact that, oh, let's get rid of the road. Like, no, leave it alone. You're not from here. Big New York, like,
Right,
billionaire.
Right.
I think that's what's offensive is
Yeah.
people come in
How
and they want to throw a
long-
Walmart on High Street.
How long is the documentary?
It's about an hour and change.
Okay.
Yeah.
People would want to know that.
Yeah.
Give the times again
So
for
the
Friday.
times, so it's Friday, April 11th. It's at noon, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 6 o'clock.
Perfect.
And it's really, really good. And it's as I said, I just think it's a beautiful way to celebrate the core of what this is. And it's so fun because we've had a heck of a good time with SOUPY Fest last year, SOUPY Fest this year, the SOUPY series. And a lot of it's kind of feels very, just fun and convivial and everything. And it is, but it's also important, I think, to, as you so beautifully articulated, DJ, like to be like, to really have an appreciation and respect for how lucky we are to be in a place where there's a sense of place and memory and tradition and identity. There's so many places now in the country and in the world, but I am lucky enough to travel around quite a bit. And I traveled a lot when I was way back a few careers ago when I was on tour with a show called Victor Victoria as a performer. And I got to go to pretty much every state in the country and played like the B-level markets.
Mhm.
So, instead of being in Hartford, I was in New London,
Right.
to give that. And so and I was young, I was in my early 20s, but having grown up in New England, I grew up in Simsbury, Connecticut. I assumed that most places had a sense of place. And what I came to discover
No, that's
was
not
that
true
it
at
was
all.
totally the opposite. And it was so sad because we would be in places and everything was like a Walmart, a Chili's, a
Mhm.
Holiday Inn, and a whatever. And
That is most of the United States.
I know. And I would have to look, kind of made a joke because this was pre-cell phones, pre-GPS, pre all of that. And I would joke that you'd have to look and, look at the majority of the license plates to understand what state you were in. There was no
Exactly.
sense of place. And so how lucky are we to live in an area where that is so incredibly articulated and distinguished
And protected.
And so SOUPY
Mhm.
Fest is our way of carrying that on a little bit and bringing that to life. And
So how are you gilding the lily this year? Because I'm sure, you said you had the one thing last year.
right. And so this year
And
was
this
a whole
year,
series.
of course, you have the documentary.
The document,
And you
two
had the
documentaries.
bocce.
Comedian,
Sal the
concert,
Voice.
Sal the Voice.
Love that. Sal
an
the Voice.
Italian
Murray the
cocktails
Pancreas.
thing. Yeah. So we had 6 different events as part of the SOUPY series this
Wow.
year. So we went from 1 to 7 really, because then there's SOUPY Fest, of course, as well. And the thing about I talk about SOUPY Fest all the time, and someone was saying, oh, everyone gets frustrated because there aren't enough tickets to SOUPY Fest. But see, the thing is we can't do multiple SOUPY Fests because there's only one judging of the family SOUPY. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
a part of it. So in our black box, we have the 350 person capacity for something like this, where we have a lot of tables and vendors and music and, bar or whatever. And in our black box, we can accommodate up to 700 for standing shows. But for something where there's all of these things going on, we have to cap it at 350. And I want everyone out there to understand, we would love to cap it at 3,050, but we only have one space. And it's not like we can even put it outside, because SOUPY Fest, there's a season, right? And it's around Easter. And my goodness, if we had SOUPY Fest outdoors right now, we would freeze our tails off.
That's right.
So it's
We
so
would.
we're trying the intention of the SOUPY series, thanks to Rhode Island Commerce's support, was to be able to extend kind of the footprint of the experience so that more people could take advantage of it, which was really cool. And so I think with the events, the extent of events this year, it was great. And we're already talking about next year and making it even bigger.
I want the audience to know, you hear from time to time, Taylor Swift tickets went on sale and they were sold out in
Yeah.
15 minutes. Something else went on sale. They were sold out in 4 minutes.
Yep.
This went on sale. It was 30 seconds.
59 seconds.
59 seconds.
Mhm.
And
Crazy.
that's amazing.
And wonderful. And again, I feel it's wonderful. It's also terrible that so many people wanted to go that couldn't go.
Yeah, you can't do
but-
2 nights like you
Yeah,
just said, or
it's
3 nights.
If it were just the tastings, yeah, we could. But I think that the family, giving a moment for the families to have the judging and to be awarded the Golden Dangler. And
The Golden Dangler?
Did you see the SOUPY heist video?
What is it?
the SOUPY.
It's a
golden
golden.
So it's a trophy. So we
SOUPY?
have plastic SOUPYs. One is gold, one is silver, and one is
bronze, of course.
And
And
so,
this one is just right.
yeah, exactly. So it's so but it's special because these families, they take a lot of pride, as they should.
They do.
And so anyway, we can't, unfortunately, we love to solve problems at the United and come up with creative solutions. SOUPY Fest is one of those things that's just limited quantity. And but again, we hope that with the SOUPY series, as many people can kind of be a part of it as possible.
Yeah.
Which is great.
So you know how they have the duck race and
Yep.
they have the race for everybody, and then they have the race for businesses.
Yeah.
Right. A separate one.
But so the vendors are kind of essentially the businesses, right? Like
They should have a competition too.
They could. We've talked about that.
Just because they
But it's
bend doesn't
kind of
mean they can
like-
make.
It's kind of like the stars of the show are the families. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like if anyone should get an award, it's the families. And I kind of vibe with that more. You know what I mean?
So you have 10 families that are vying.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
10.
And
Wow.
and it's awesome because when they drop off, I could talk about SOUPY forever. When they drop off their SOUPY, it's like the families have their elevator pitch. A lot of them, like my SOUPY is the best SOUPY because
Mhm.
I make my own paprika. Blah, 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 blah. Like everyone's got their thing. And
Wait, what is paprika? Like, how do you make paprika?
so it's a pepper.
It's Hungarian.
Oh, that's right.
that's
Well,
pepper.
dried.
It's
and
that
then
red
ground.
stuff.
Yeah.
I know what it is,
So
but
you could
I've
grow
never.
your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you could dry it, and then you grind it, and you've got your own paprika.
Do people? They make their own
Yeah.
paprika. Holy
Seriously.
crap!
They don't go to Stop and Shop and buy it.
Oh my gosh.
The paprika.
No, they grind their own. And so for those out there, the vegetarians of the world, we have
Well, they have
we have
vegetarian
SOUPY popcorn this year, which is the SOUPY seasoning on popcorn. And Hauser Chocolates has created, we're going to be selling at SOUPY Fest exclusively, SOUPY chocolate bars.
Oh my.
And SOUPY chocolate bars, now never fear, it's not the meat, the SOUPY, but it's the spice profile. Like, have you had dark chocolate with chili?
Mm.
Yeah, so it's
Like
really
Mexican hot
yeah,
chocolate.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like that, but with the
That's
SOUPY.
good. That's good.
SOUPY
Don't look at me like
flavors.
that. That is delicious. Mexican hot
Mhm.
chocolate.
Mhm.
I never thought I'd like spicy. Why would you eat spicy chocolate? Why would you put anything spicy
It's
in
nice though,
it?
right?
It is nice.
Yeah. So it's really cool. So we have not many, but like a few non-SOUPY inspired options. I do think we need like a, like the Beyond Burger thing, but for SOUPY. Like there's got to be a vegetarian SOUPY. But anyway, we haven't cracked that code. Okay.
You're
shaking your head.
probably not allowed, although it's going to be out in the public. Who are these celebrities people? Like last year you had Gene
Yeah.
Valicenti, and I know you had
announced
Steve
at
Sharippa.
yeah, Steve's our MC, and the judging panel will be announced at SOUPY Fest. Yeah.
But for those of us who didn't make the 59-second buzzer, you can't. I don't like you, and you may never be invited
Okay,
back.
I'm sorry.
as a
I
guest.
have to be. I
I know.
I love you, and I try to be.
It's like the most
as-
diplomatic part of her job.
Yeah.
I certainly I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
do
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
Now, are you going to tell us we have another half hour? What else is there anything else doing at the United after
Yes.
Saturday?
Not anything
After
quite
Saturday,
as delicious.
yes. I mean, and the other kind of big headline at the United is the announcement of Nashville North on March 5th, which we haven't talked about.
No. National North?
Nashville North.
Oh, Nashville North.
Yeah.
That's right. You went down there and there was that big.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We had an announcement on March 5th, which was wonderful. And Governor McKee came, which was so appreciated. And Rhode Island Commerce was there. And it was the announcement of a new initiative. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay.
As long as it's not a secret.
It's not. No, this is now completely out in the open, which is so great. So the origin story of Nashville North, and it's important to give credit where credit is due here, is that the wonderful Scott Swift, Taylor's father, who was one of the founding supporters of the United long before I came into the picture, came to me last summer with the brilliant idea of bringing programming from the Bluebird Cafe
Oh, I know
in
that.
Nashville,
In
Tennessee,
Nashville, right?
up to Westerly. And for those that aren't aware, the Bluebird Cafe is a tiny little spot in Nashville, Tennessee that is in the music world a sanctified place. It is a place where people come from all around
It's
the
like
world.
Preservation Hall.
Oh my gosh. Have you been?
Yes.
Good.
Preservation Hall
Yes.
is this little place you can't even sit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that is it for New Orleans.
It's and the Bluebird,
The
I had not
Bluebird I have
been
been
until
to.
I went down last October. And you feel the provenance of the musicians that got their start, you know, Taylor Swift, Garth Brooks, you know, all these people, Keith Urban, like people, huge names in music who got started at the Bluebird. And for musicians
And a lot
to
of
play
people
at the
don't
Bluebird,
even know that Taylor Swift was a country music singer.
Yes.
That's how she started.
Yep. And so Scott was so gracious and coming and saying, I've got this idea, and made the introduction to the folks at the Bluebird, who were wonderful. And Tony and myself and Dan King, who's on our board, made the journey down to the Bluebird last fall. And of course, we're absolutely blown away at what we saw, because the Bluebird features singer-songwriters. And it's interesting because people don't realize sometimes that the person who is you hear on the radio that's singing the song didn't necessarily write the song, and in most cases didn't write the song. The singer-songwriters are the people who created the music from their heart and their soul and their stories. And at the Bluebird, you get to hear these singer-songwriters perform their original works, many of which you know from the hits,
Right.
but you don't know from the person who actually it originated from. And what's so cool about it, and I'd be curious to know if your experience was similar, when you hear the singer-songwriter perform their work, there's an authenticity to it.
Oh, there's
You
a lot
know?
of heart and soul
Yes, 'cause
that goes
it came
into
from
it.
their heart and their brain and their soul and their spirit, and you feel that. And so when you're in the room at the Bluebird, which again is a tiny little place, and they have the shh policy that everyone is quiet. It's not like you hoot and holler. You're listening to this with a kind of a reverence that is appropriate, and it just is this like absolutely magical experience. Now the Bluebird has, in a very limited way, extended the reach of their artists by presenting Bluebird programming in other locations that include Sundance, Napa, Santa Fe, and most recently London.
Had no idea.
So we said, would you consider coming to Westerly, because of a lot of things, because of the musical provenance of Westerly and our history with the blues
Right.
at the Knickerbocker,
Right around the corner.
the whole thing, Room Full of Blues and all the rest. Of course, the connection with not only Taylor Swift, but people like our absolutely beloved Lang Martin, who is in the Songwriter Hall of Fame down in Nashville and is in Nashville half of the year when he's not up here with his
That was the
wonderful wife,
name we
Linda.
were trying to think of a few weeks ago.
It is.
Because he did our show
I
last
was
year.
just thinking that. I was like, and that's it.
He's the
Yeah,
best.
and it was something like Lane something.
Lang
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah.
He is just one of the best humans.
Not
I've
only
ever
is he
met.
talented, he's a very nice guy.
Oh, the
Wonderful
nice, the
man.
most wonderful. So we had these connections. And when we went down to the Bluebird, we were also wonderfully introduced to the nonprofit Country Music Hall of Fame and Taylor Swift Education Center, which did you go to the Country Music Hall of Fame when you were down there?
Oh, years and
Yeah.
years ago.
It's amazing.
I mean, Taylor Swift probably wasn't born then.
Yeah.
That's how long ago.
So the Country Music Hall of Fame is definitely worth a
Stop
visit
it.
in Nashville, and it's again hollowed ground in terms of the history of country music.
So she has an education center?
So she has
Good
an
for
education
her.
center, and part of that education center's work is in teaching kids songwriting. So when we went down there, we went and were familiarized with their songwriter education program. And we said to ourselves, wouldn't this be so cool to be able to integrate the songwriter education piece into, if we were ever able to get the Bluebird to bring programming up here and have this be more than just performances. So they have a program called Words and Music, and we're a program participant in the Words and Music program, which is a curriculum that is an 8 to 10 week curriculum teaching kids how to write songs. And so
what's the age limit?
They have a curriculum for little guys, like second, third graders,
Really?
4th to 6th-ish in high school. So we were really excited about bringing that program up to the United Music School.
Oh, yeah.
And we have since implemented it. Our after school arts program, which is our free middle school program.
Right.
Those kids actually, as we speak, literally are at the United right now being part of this Words and Music program. And what's so cool, I can talk about SOUPY, I could talk about Words and Music even more. This program, we were able to bring some of our music educators down to Nashville about 2 months ago to be trained in teaching this curriculum. And the way that, and so we kind of got a condensed version of what the kids were going to experience. And it starts with a free write where the kids spend,
I love that.
15 minutes just writing whatever. And then the free write is eventually grouped and organized into subjects and themes, which then become the subject of the song. And then they're taught rhyme, verse.
So you're almost
hooks.
starting with a poem that evolves into music.
And what's so cool, Rona, is that after when the 8 weeks is over, the completed song, not the music, but the lyrics, go to a stable of singer-songwriters in Nashville. There's about 40 of them that are under the auspices of the Country Music Hall of Fame. And those singer-songwriters take those lyrics and put them to music. And then, then the kids are in the audience and the singer-songwriters sing to them their song for the first time.
Wow.
I am telling you, so when we went down to Nashville for this training, we got to observe kids in 4th grade from the Nashville area that were hearing their songs for the first time. And the songs ranged from, like, one kid was, the song was about my dog loves to play football. This other kid's song was about how the same type of tree grows differently in Georgia than it does in Tennessee. So obviously this kid had been, had moved and was.
Did you look at their faces when the songs were being sung? Hey, that's mine. That's mine.
You couldn't imagine how cool it was to see these kids come to life and feel so heard and have what once existed as a thought in their mind be a fully fledged song that a singer-songwriter of the level of quality and talent of these that are under the auspices of this program. I mean,
and they're sitting at the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So with our kiddos up here, we're going to be bringing them into our main cinema, our 76-seater, and we will be zooming in on our huge screen those singer-songwriters, and they will be performing for the kids. So the Nashville North Initiative has multiple prongs. Number one, Bluebird programming coming up to Westerly beginning in November of this year and continuing quarterly through 26. So that is to go on sale.
And where do we come in? We, the audience, we, the people. Can we go see this?
Yes. It'll be at the United.
Tickets I figured.
Yep. And so that is, yes, 100% yes. And it's going to be awesome because I would say to anybody, if you get the chance to go to Nashville and you get the chance to go to the Bluebird, go. Even if you think I don't care about country music, I don't care about whatever. It is one of those bucket list things that everyone should try to do. Not everyone could do that. So we're bringing it to our community. So that's awesome. The second part is the Words and Music program for our kids. We're going to be expanding that songwriting education program for more ages, for adults potentially, and like just increasing what that looks like. And then yesterday, so when I was down in Nashville time one, and I've been back and forth a lot, I was very lucky to be introduced to the folks at Southwest Airlines because they are the official airline of the Bluebird. And so, as luck would have it, that Southwest launched yesterday direct flights between Nashville and Providence. So the United was at TF Green all day yesterday, and we did 2 concerts. One was because we're partnering with Southwest Airlines. One was at the departure gate.
Right.
And they had Nashville chicken and bread pudding and all sorts of treats. And we had United stuff, and the wonderful
And then did
Kara
you do
McKee
something
sang.
at Arrival?
Yeah, and so we did
downstairs?
something at baggage claim. So we were at Arrivals, and we had Nashville North branded like little popcorns and stuff like that. And so that was really cool. So we're working with Southwest Airlines, and they are going to power flying our artists and potentially some students too back and forth between Nashville and Providence. And one of the performers yesterday at the baggage claim part was the wonderful Isabella Spears, who's an 8th grader, a real up-and-comer, very talented young woman who is a singer-songwriter who performed yesterday, and she's going down to the Country Music Hall of Fame's songwriter camp for their advanced camp this summer in July. And we're providing that opportunity for her. So Nashville North is a big thing.
You just brought me to my next question, not Isabella's camp, because I understand what you're doing, but how is this whole thing being underwritten? Who's funding it? Is it strictly the United?
Right now, it's just the United, but I'm going to be making
that is a
asks for-
huge undertaking.
Yeah,
huge.
Yeah, I'm looking for funding. So,
is that something you can get grant money from?
Yes,
from the
I think so.
Council on the Arts. And
yeah, I mean, it's a challenging
it is
time right now. So, but we will find the money for it because I believe in it. We believe in it. It's a huge gain for our community.
Sure it is.
It's a huge gain for our students to be in the orbit of the Bluebird is just wonderful.
I don't think people realize, I know when it was first announced, there was something in the newspaper about it. But I don't think the average person out there walking past the library or into the park may know it. They might have said, yeah, I heard something.
Mm-hmm.
And this bears everybody knowing.
Yeah.
And I would think when it comes time to ask for money, who asks better than kids? Because you can't say no to kids like you can to adults.
I say no to kids all the time.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. And I think that there's, on the very practical side too, there's economic implications for this community,
for the whole area.
Yeah. So it's good work. It's important work. It's about economic development. And honestly, to connect our community to Nashville is a huge win. I mean, Nashville.
When you mention the other places, Napa and London,
Santa Fe, London, and us.
And us. And us is a whole lot smaller than all those places.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about being put on the map.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're really excited about it. We're so grateful to Scott for, making that initial, like, wouldn't it be great if ... And there's nothing we love more than taking something from idea, like the SOUPY Fest thing, and then like bringing it to life. There's a lot of work.
Speaking of SOUPY Fest, it doesn't end here. This is the second annual, and then there'll be next year.
Yeah,
I know you said we're already thinking of.
Yeah.
But this is it now.
Yeah. No.
As long as there are Calabrians in Westerly and SOUPY, this is it.
This is it. Yeah. SOUPY Fest will, it's at the United. We're trying to put on the calendar things that we do on a regular basis that the community can start to just feel like is part of their calendar too. Like the trunk or treat thing that we do, SOUPY Fest, of course, now with Nashville North, the holiday spectacular with the wonderful kids. I
still remember the kids dancing in the windows.
Yeah.
That was so great.
The lights parade. So we're trying to do things in a way that they start to establish a regularity. I mean, if you look at our calendar, it's cuckoo and we're doing so many different things, but I love the idea, and we talk about this as a team a lot, that in a year, 2 years, 5 years from now, it'll be like, okay, we look at the calendar for the year ahead, and there are a lot of the spaces that are already filled in because we do whatever we do every year, and then we start to fill in the spaces around it versus starting from scratch.
Exactly.
So that's
We get about 10 minutes, so feel free.
Yeah.
Let us know what else is. I know you've got those great calendars.
We've got those great calendars. I mean, tomorrow night is Nershi Han, which is Bill Nershi and his wife Jillian Nershi. It's a trio, and they they do all sorts of very cool acoustic guitar songwriting. This is not part of Nashville North, but it's just they're amazing. Amazing trio that really speaks to the roots of American music and Americana music. They're amazing, amazing, amazing artists. That is going to be tomorrow night, Thursday at 7:30 in the Black Box. On Friday, we have our United We Laugh series, those series that many know and love. That's at 7 o'clock, presented by Tad Flynn with a whole fleet of awesome comedians that come from all over the place, New Jersey to Boston. SOUPY Fest, obviously, on Saturday. Start Making Sense, which is coming back to the United. They do the music of the Talking Heads and David Byrne. That was a great concert last year. That's coming back again April 19th at 8 o'clock. We are hosting the chamber, the Ocean Community Chamber for Trash and Fashion,
right,
on April 24th at 7 o'clock. Those tickets are through the chamber.
Right.
Yep.
I think my wife is officially sick of hearing, "Oh, don't throw that away."
Yeah. Are you one of the people? Are you
Weird
in it?
Sterling is. Yep.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. I've heard it's an awesome event.
Nervous.
It's a fun event.
You're nervous?
I'm
Don't be
nervous.
nervous.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, just go on a runway with trash. And
Just as
Doesn't
long as
have
it
to-
stays.
It doesn't have to be you. Can't you make it and put somebody in it in
You
the
want to be a model?
outfit?
I would need a lot less bags if you were my model.
It all depends.
I think that's a yes. I'm taking that as a
I'm
yes.
taking it as a yes.
A lack of a no means a yes
Yeah.
in my book. Yeah.
I've got to remember that a lack of a no means a
Yeah.
yes. A lack of a no means a yes.
It can get you into trouble.
Yeah.
We have improv night coming up on April 25th. Improv night is super fun. That is a great improv is like it's
'Cause you never
obviously
know
the
what's gonna
shape.
happen.
Yeah. That's a
Do you get good turnouts for
yeah,
that?
we do actually. It's Providence Improv Guild.
And that's
is
known
coming
as
back.
Pig.
Pig. Yep. So that's going to be a lot of fun. This is a neat one. So Carl the Collector is a series on PBS.
It's like Sal the Voice.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's for kiddos, and it's a 2D animated series for children 4 through 8 that follows the adventures of Carl, a warm-hearted autistic raccoon who enjoys collecting things and loves his friends and family in Fuzzy Town. So this is part of April is Autism Acceptance Month, and the screenings are going to be in our main cinema of Carl the Collector. And on April 26th at 4, we have a talk with the writer of the series about, how the series came to be, and she'll tell us the story behind the story. This is a really big, for those out there that have little kids, Carl the Collector is a big thing.
So
kids are
he
too old.
collects things for this family that he loves.
Yeah, and it's it's a fantastic
I feel like Carl's
series
my,
that
like-
is, giving voice to the autistic community, and it's really, really, really great. Tony was able to make connection with the creator of it, and it's really awesome that they're coming to the United. So that'll be great.
He has a big job, Tony.
He does.
He
A
has
huge
to
job.
bring all these people in, right?
Yep, he has to. And what's so cool is that he's getting a lot of inbound inquiries now. In
That's
other words,
great.
it's not like he's
We want to be at the United.
Yes.
We've heard of the United.
yes.
Yeah, that is
And
great.
He does a terrific job.
Kind of
So,
like Man About Town. When we first started, we
Yeah.
begged people.
Yeah.
Now they call us.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And isn't that a mark of success, right? That's
like it.
so that's awesome. So he does a heck of a job, and it's we're so lucky. The DNA of the United is entwined with Tony. He's been with the organization forever.
Well, you two together, plus your great
Yeah, and a
staff,
great team.
you really have done some wonderful stuff in a very short time.
Thank you. Yeah,
Because you were just given this and you could run with it. They
Yeah.
didn't have too many no's.
no,
You didn't hear no, so you took it as a
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
There
I
you
didn't hear
go.
no, so I took it as a yes. And it was a organization that was young enough to not have anything calcified. It wasn't like,
You weren't taking over
right,
an
if someone
existing.
comes down the street today and takes my job, then they're inheriting
Oh,
some
boy.
stuff. They're inheriting Soupy Fest and Nashville North and Trunk or Treat and Holiday
Right.
Spectacular, like the stuff that we do, which could be a blessing or a curse. I didn't really inherit anything, and not in a bad way, but it was new enough that there was no, oh, the United does this every year. We had community partners and
Right.
everything else, but the identity was not defined enough so that we were able to collectively as a team shape the organization in the way that we felt was reflective of the community and was thinking really ambitiously about what an organization like this can be. And we believe, I've said this to you before too, you could do my job, Rona, because you've heard me prattle on so much, but like we believe
It would take
that
10 people to do your job.
No.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about your job so much that I don't want your job ever.
which is smart assessment on your part, but it's a organization that is not being prescriptive about what the arts are. We are trying to cast the net as wide as possible so that whether it's SOUPY or this this series that is geared towards bringing awareness to autism and the kids that are part of that community, whether it's improv, whether it's culinary, whatever, it doesn't matter to us. It's about bringing people into space together and how that engenders community.
And you work so well with the community too.
Mhm.
You really have. I mean, working with all the community
Yep.
groups. And now I love what, I don't know whose idea it was, but when you and the Granite and the Chorus
Yep.
got together, even before the Westies, when you just got together and said, we're going to work together.
Oh, totally.
We're not competitors here.
I do not understand why there would be anything other than the posture of that, the importance of organizations lifting one another up. I don't understand competitiveness. I don't understand why you wouldn't look at the wealth that we have as a community in terms of the depth of
Absolutely.
the bench and say how lucky we are. And there are a lot of people doing a lot of good work. And if our biggest problem is at the end of the year saying how the list is so long of the organizations I need to support, I can't keep track of it. My goodness, is that a wonderful problem to have?
Carly Callahan, thank you. We're going to
Thank
see
you.
you hopefully in a month.
Yep.
And good luck this Saturday evening, because you have to dodge the hanging
All the
consomme,
soupy. Mhm.
the clam chowder, the tomato soup. You've done great stuff.
Thank you.
We
Well,
do
thank
have
you for
a
having
we do
me.
have a question from a listener before you leave,
Sure.
and I think the answer is yes. But will you be doing any more Voices of Westerly?
Oh yes, and we just did one last Wednesday.
nice.
We had the wonderful John Tedeschi on. He was teacher
Oh,
of
the art
year,
teacher from
and
Westerly.
he is
High
our artist in residence at the United, and he's amazing. And we had Emma Sills on, who
Nice.
is part of the wonderful Windies right around the corner from us. They were one of our partners on Soupy Fest, and they had a whole pop-up trotteria, and they have all sorts of really cool Soupy inspired home goods and cookbooks and all sorts of cool stuff.
Love that.
So yes, Voices of Westerly is ongoing, and it just happened last Wednesday.
Love
This
it.
is Man About Town. We're going to take a brief pause while we change places. And our 4:00 guest is going to be asking our 3:00 guests for a donation to something. Yes, I know that. Not a monetary one, but we will be back shortly.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi ductless mini-split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.
And we are back. Terrible producer. She doesn't, all of a sudden she goes 3, 2, I'm saying goodbye. We are back here on Man About Town, a production of 321 Media. We're in beautiful downtown Westerly, which actually is warmer than it was. But I'm looking at the flags at the library. The wind is still pretty strong out there.
Howling.
About 9 miles per hour to be exact.
Ah.
Only 9 miles?
That's it.
Wow, I thought it was supposed to be about 40 today. 40 miles.
It's
Isn't that a hurricane? No, I guess
Yeah.
that's 60, but
Well, we are here with our savior, not the religious guy, but we had a cancellation very much at the last minute, and Derin Temel from the Rotary Club of Westerly said he would come in and talk about scholarships and bricks.
Absolutely thrilled to talk about scholarships and bricks. We got a lot of stuff going on at the Rotary Club, and this is a great platform to let the people know about it.
Good.
Yeah. So
well, do it.
All right. We've got a couple of big initiatives. One is ongoing and one has a date attached to it. The latter is our scholarship auction dinner, where we raise funds to give away funds. We pick out worthy Westerly High School students apply for scholarships through the Rotary Club. Last year, we gave out $15,000 in scholarships to local high school students that were going to continue their education.
I think it's important to mention when Derin just said local high school students, that doesn't mean only Westerly High School. That means Prout. That means the kids who take the boat and go to school across the water.
The kids whose parents shuffled them up to Bishop Hendrick.
Yes.
That would be me.
Yes. I was going to say that. Yeah. As long as they are Westerly based, they can apply.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And on the
and how do they get those applications? Are they out yet?
They are. You could go to the Rotary Club of Westerly website.
Good.
And that will lead you to the application. That date of that event is the 7th of June. And while that's a couple of months off, local Rotarians are hard at work getting items donated to auction off for that event, and that's what we do to raise money. So it takes a village. We talk to all the local businesses about making a donation to that event, and we have a silent auction as well as a live auction.
And I think what's so important, and I hear this every week, but those of you who are Westerly based and know Ted Avedisian from Abbey Ski Sports, he is one of the chairs of this and has been since the beginning,
Indeed, yeah.
since its beginning. And he has said, if you have an item, we'll sell it. This is not flea market. This is not clean out your attic. This is brand new stuff. But while we appreciate, or while you appreciate the gift cards to restaurants and businesses, it's that other stuff that he's looking for.
We have auctioned off everything from a weekend on Block Island to an apple pie. So,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We do have someone in the Rotary Club who is a wonderful pie baker. And it's, how many pies do you get?
I
6,
think
was it?
6 pies, and it was paired with a bottle of wine that would go with that pie.
Ooh.
And it was a hot item last year.
Oh, it
So,
raised a whole lot of
yeah,
money.
in fact, I think
She had to do it twice over,
I
didn't
think
she?
3 times over. We
Wow.
initially started with one, and it was in demand. So she
was like, ah, go
yeah,
ahead.
if
Go
I'm gonna bake one
ahead.
pie, I can bake 3 pies. So,
Yeah.
again,
Well, that
that's-
means if there are people out there listening to us and they say, I don't own a business, but we have a vacation home in Vermont and we would let someone have a weekend there or a week there. Or I could teach someone how to make a quilt. I am a master quilt maker. Not me. God knows, not me. But anyone like that, anything.
absolutely, it's
Or I am a cat sitter. I will come and sit for your cat.
I bet you that one would be fire.
yeah,
Like that
well,
one would go.
I'm not going to go down that road.
I think you
because
should
I
go back
have
to
a cat
coloring.
sitter.
No, but there are dog walkers, cat
Yes.
sitters, and there are people that do that as a job that might want to donate that and say it's worth X number of dollars, and that doesn't mean they're going to get X number. They usually get higher.
Right?
I mean, I'll
Artists
take
who
your
are-
kid to the Westerly Library for like half of their events. Like, I just want to be part of that.
Wow, there you go.
And we have a wonderful auctioneer.
We do. We have actually a couple of auctioneers.
Yes, we do.
We have, for those of you who have been to Summer Pops, you might know Bob Elmer, or to the Ocean House, the ambassador at the Ocean House.
And the voice of the pops.
And the voice of the Pops. And in addition to that,
We have the funny religious guy.
Dr. Reverend Cal Lord. Most people in town know him. And,
Oh, wow.
if you haven't seen him in action, it's worth the price of admission just to come to the event. He is.
It is. It's amazing because he just says, kind of like this show, he says what he thinks because he'd never done this before. He's done it now twice.
2 years.
And he just brings the house down because he's hysterical.
Yeah, and when you have the two of them working in conjunction, I think it's going to be
Oh, yeah.
a very special event.
Yeah.
And this year we will be having it at the Chorus of Westerly Hall, and it will be catered by Andrew and Jen Nathan from the Cooked Goose.
Right.
They have been our chef and caterer for many years now.
Yes, many,
So-
many years. And because they had that unfortunate fire at the Cook Goose, the Chorus of Westerly stepped up and said, hey, he knows our kitchen. He's cooked here for Pops. So they are allowing him in and we get a bigger space,
Right.
Oh, I
which
love
makes
that.
it nice. Once again, that's the beauty of the Westerly community, working together, partnering always.
It is.
It's a community of collaboration.
Right. And this event is a testament to that sense of community, because people come out and they want to donate. They want to be part of it. And people who come to the auction are incredibly generous. I mean, they are buying things not only because they might want it or need it, but they know where the money is going. And that tends to loosen the purse strings a little bit. And
Yeah.
and it's a incredibly fun evening, and we're able to make money for an incredibly good cause.
Yeah, if you know, I mean, you don't have to have a child who's getting ready to go to college or in college. There might be someone in your family, chances are there is, or your neighbor's children. You have any idea what tuition is today? They need every opportunity for a scholarship.
I mean, I would go just because I want like kids to be smart. I just want our future generation to be intelligent. Go to
Yeah.
college.
It's an investment in the
Yeah.
future. You're
Well, I
absolutely
will
right.
tell you, the kids that apply are pretty sharp kids.
They are, and they're hardworking. I tell the story that I was down at the beach, and I am a regular at Town Beach, and I am a regular at the concession stand. And there was a young lady there who I've seen grow up, and she said, "Thank you very much. I was one of the recipients from the scholarship." And I see her there while all her friends are out playing on the sand and swimming in the ocean. She is working hard to make money.
Oh, for college. So she runs that
college.
concession.
She works at the concession.
She
Some
does.
of their senior projects are out of this world.
Yeah.
Out of this world. They're really, really ingenious.
Yeah, I think that's great. Now, and I don't know when you went to school in Greenwich
Yes, high school.
High School. Were senior projects something that were required back then? They were not at my school, and I think they should be
Yeah,
at every school.
I think it is a great idea. I did
Great
not
way to
have
get a kid to focus on. You got to work for the future, and you got to create things.
Right. I was a member of a service club. We didn't have senior projects, but there were service clubs
Right.
that were affiliated with Kiwanis and other organizations like the Rotary. And that's a great opportunity to see what service is all about before you get into the real world.
Yeah, the real world.
Uh,
Wow, it's a big surprise
It
too.
is
That real
indeed.
world.
No doubt about it.
So, if people are listening to you and to me, and they say, "Yeah, I've got something I'd like to donate," what's the best way? How do they find a Rotarian or find you?
You can find me.
You'll be in Paris for a
I-
week.
I'm going to be away, but if you have something you're interested in, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, Ted at Avi's Ski and Sport is probably your best bet. He's always there. He is one of the chairs of this event.
Good idea.
Everybody knows where Avi's is, and you can just stop in and say, I was listening to Man About Town, and I heard you're looking for donations, and here I am to
Right.
be part of the event.
And we're not talking, when you say the word donation, people's brains go right to, oh, you need cash. They want cash. It's not that Rotary doesn't ask you for cash, because we do enough during the year. But in this case, they're looking for something that Ted can sell.
Exactly.
Or that the auctioneers can sell.
Right.
That Bob and Cal can sell that night, and they will.
Yeah.
And they have such fun doing
Oh,
it too.
and we have done sunset.
I mean, you mentioned the apple pies. I still remember those pies last year. They got a ridiculous amount of money for those pies.
3 times over.
Yeah.
And we have people like Dr. Doug Rayner, who is a master craftsman.
And he builds furniture every
builds
year.
Furniture every year. And he that's another hot item that got doubled, then tripled. And he was willing to make more than one because people really appreciated the fine craftsmanship that went into his table. I
remember, and this is a few years ago. In fact, this is probably just before the pandemic, but he saw it, I believe, in a book or a newspaper, and he said, I can create that. He made a bank, but he made it in the shape of a vault, an old-fashioned bank vault.
I love that.
And it was fantastic. And people wanted him. After that was auctioned off, they said, would you do another? And he agreed to.
It was funny because last year...
A lot easier to make an apple pie.
Yeah, true. Last year, he made a shelf, a plant shelf or a bookshelf.
Oh, that's
but
right.
It was, it doubled. It was concealed inside of the shelf was a safe. And you opened, when you took whatever was on the shelf off, you could open it up. There was a special key to open it up. and he said you can stash 4,000 bills in here or 18,000 M&Ms.
That's funny.
Did he count?
Yeah.
I think he was probably spitballing on that
Okay.
one.
I honestly do not ever remember anything being left over.
No.
People love this event.
Yeah, we have had a coffee a day for a year from our friends at Everett at Honeydew made that donation
Wow.
last year, which is
That's
a
awesome.
fabulous gift, you know. And
Sure.
that was a hot item as well, you know.
I remember years ago, and it would have to be years ago because of what I'm about to say, but way back, they had an item from one of the local dry cleaners that they would dry clean a shirt I don't know if it was every day for a year. I think it was every week. They would do a couple of dress shirts.
Mhm.
And that went immediately to an attorney.
Fair, yeah.
But if you think about it now, there's almost no need.
Right.
Guys aren't wearing dress shirts and getting dressed up to go to work.
It's business casual these
Yeah,
days.
it really is. But I remember that it was a great item for the times, and he went right for it.
And that's the type of thing that we're getting. We're getting a little bit of everything. There's something
Yes.
for everybody at this auction. And
Yeah.
It's not just the big ticket items. There's fun, small stuff that you can get involved on the silent auction.
There's
side.
golf outings,
There's
right?
golf outings. There's, as I said.
But I
it's
remember, like you said, it's not only the big ticket items. Yes, there are big ticket items, and they, like the trip to Block Island, the Block Island Airlines, all of that. But then there are, on the silent auction, you can put a bid down to get a plant from one of the local
a
florists.
wine basket.
Yeah.
There's a whole, there's a variety of things to
Yes.
choose from.
Yeah,
So,
it's great.
plants.
So I encourage everybody that owns a business or has a service or it has something that's just unique that might be right up our alley to get in touch with us. Again, Ted at Abbey Ski and Sport is probably your best bet because he's easy to find and he's always there.
And if you just moved into Westerly and you don't know where it is, right next to McQuaid's, right on the corner. You see it as you're driving by.
Indeed.
So that's perfect.
And his
Tell-
favorite sandwich is peanut butter and jelly.
His favorite sandwich is
I don't know.
It
who-
is?
I don't know. I don't know who told me that.
I never knew that.
Neither.
I've never seen him eat peanut. I see him eat a lot of stuff from Bogues,
He
and
I don't know,
Bogues
somebody
doesn't
told-
have peanut butter and jelly.
Somebody told me that, and maybe it was Ed. I don't know.
He loves the niffer from Bogues.
Oh yes,
He's not a meat eater, but he will devour chicken and cheese and a big bulky roll.
yep. Well, we've now taken care of him. Do you have the brochure with you on? Did you bring it on Bricks in the Park?
I did. and I
Good.
can give a
I
little
don't know if you
information on that.
noticed when you came in downstairs, all those holders that are perfect for this. And if you don't have a holder, I have an empty one at home that I will donate or bring Monday night that will fit those. And we can put them downstairs.
Perfect.
So we can have you hold that up to the camera.
Okay.
Which camera, DJ? Or she's going to do it.
I got you. All right.
You'll be seeing these around town. Now you got time on this.
This is an ongoing project. We've just
This is an
launched this.
ongoing project, but I was thinking we are getting to that time of year of graduations, weddings, celebrations, and of course, memorials are ongoing.
Mhm.
And how perfect that is.
It is. So I should probably give a little information as to what this is all about.
Yes.
So this is a brick walkway that we will be laying down in Rotary Park. If you've been to Rotary Park, you'll know there's a asphalt walkway that runs from the parking lot to the children's garden in the back. And it has seen better days. And as a part of a beautification project and a fundraiser, we spoke to the folks at Parks and Rec and floated the idea of installing a brick walkway that would run that 900, I think it's about 900 feet
Yes.
to the children's garden. And they were all for it. And Rotary Park is a partnership between the Rotary Club and the town of
town.
Westerly. So we work in conjunction to make sure that that park is available, up to date. People that have been down there, it is a gem. It really, really is. It has the volleyball courts, the tennis courts, pickleball now. It's got the children's garden. It's got the playscape. And it's just a fabulous space to come and go there with your family.
And lots of free parking.
And lots of
People
free
always
parking.
worry about that, but
Yep.
they've got a huge parking lot.
Right. And so we have contracted a company that will, thank you, will engrave the bricks for us. There are two different sizes you can choose from. One is 4x8, the other is 8x8. The 4x8 affords you 54 characters, which includes spaces and punctuation for your message. And then obviously the 8x8 will double that to 108 characters. And
people can have any message as long as it's appropriate.
exactly. I mean, we want you to
You
share
pay
your feelings.
extra if it's not appropriate.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially for you.
Right.
Yeah.
But like you said, this is a great, if you've, brought your kids to the park, if you were a kid and went to the park, if you're you have grandchildren that you bring to the park, if you want to memorialize somebody, it is a great opportunity to have us install a lasting message that will be there for years and years and years to come.
It was so sad. Monday, I went by there, and Monday the rain was coming down, and it was cold, and it was windy, and that, other than a woman walking a dog, there wasn't a soul. Because normally when I go by there 12 months a year, kids are playing, grandparents are there, parents are there. It's a very popular park.
It is. And we've, it obviously very close to our hearts. This is something that
Sure.
the Rotary Club, Ted,
Built.
you're speaking about Ted Avedisian. He was the mastermind behind this, and we raised money to build that park. And every time I drive by and I see people enjoying it, it's another reminder what the Rotary Club means to this town.
And also, I will give a shout out for those who may remember the late Gus Quintero. He was president of the Rotary Club at the time, and it was actually his idea. It was Ted who took it to the town.
Mm-hmm.
Ted did the hard political work and a lot of the fundraising, but Gus was still alive by the time the park was dedicated, and that was a wonderful day. Yeah. That really was.
And if you go to the children's garden, if you follow the brick walkway, which will be laid, hopefully we're looking to have that installed in October. We obviously will not have all the bricks sold, but what we'll be doing is, as people, once the first installation goes in, as people sign up and buy more bricks, we will have a point where we'll pull some bricks out and put the engraved bricks down. So we'll have the whole walkway installed, some with engraved bricks, the rest without, and then we will swap them out as we get new donors.
That's great.
Yeah.
So people can always add to it.
Right. And I was going to say, so when you walk all the way to the end and you go into the children's garden, if you haven't been there, just take a walk through. It is magical. And we have a little free library in there, which was designed and built by none other than Dr. Rayner, Doug Rayner.
It's also part of the Harmony Trail, isn't it?
And it's part of the Harmony Trail as well. And It is indeed. So this is an ongoing event. In order to buy bricks, you can contact the Rotary Club. If you want to, or a Rotarian, or you can stop down to Ted's store. We'll send him all sorts of business. But you can also, we have set up a website. The company we're working with is called Bricks R Us. And the website
so original.
Yeah, but fairly easy to remember. It's bricksrus.com.
Is that bricks ARE or R or
BRICKSRUS. R
Just the letter R.
Us, almost like Toys R Us.
All right.
But you don't want them to contact Bricks R
No,
Us.
but the website is bricksrus.com/donor site /Rotary Club of Westerly.
Or it might be just easier to go on the Rotary Club of Westerly website. You can do it right there.
Right. Indeed.
And if you say, but I don't have a computer or I don't know how to do that, you can get these brochures. You're going to start seeing them all over town. You can write a check and mail it in.
Indeed.
And this is not expensive. I mean, not when you consider what you're getting. I mean, the 4-inch by 8-inch brick, which is 3 lines, 18 characters, is $125. And then the large one, the 8 by 8, is double the price, $250. But you choose the inscription. And again, when you're getting, I know I've got 2 weddings to go to this summer.
Ooh.
And you get these, you get the list of, or the registry. This is what we'd like.
That's
And I
awesome.
always look at it and think, bleh, I want to do something different.
Right.
And how different that would be.
Indeed. It's
Not to get sad or anything, but my dad died in COVID. We weren't allowed to have a funeral. So therefore he doesn't have a grave. We had to get him cremated. He wanted to be anyway, but like everybody like had to be cremated. That was a weird rule. So I mean, I have nowhere to go sit with my dad. I mean, I go and sit with Chris all the time, but I have nowhere to go to sit with my dad.
Yeah.
Except for my living room, because that's where he is.
But you can
But that
get a
would be
brick.
so cool to like walk and like bring my mom somewhere and be like, hey, look, that's Dad's brick.
Right.
So
great idea.
yeah, I'm on board.
Exactly. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back with Derin Temel talking all things bricks, auctions, scholarships. This is Man About Town. We are a production of 321 Media in Westerly, and we do it all for you. We'll be back shortly.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi ductless mini split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.
And here we are back with Derin Temel from the Rotary Club. We've been talking bricks.
We have indeed. And
I
then-
notice you didn't say that I counted down well this time. You only point out when I don't.
Because it's your job. You are the executive producer. Roxy, the radio dog, is the co-producer.
She helps more.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, you have done a very good job. There'll be a little
Yay.
something extra in your envelope. All right.
Thank you.
Back to Derin.
Yeah. So we're
I'm
yeah,
looking up a brick here.
You
so
are looking up a brick. So one of the things I didn't mention before is, the host of different reasons you can get a brick. But if you have a local business and you want to buy a brick and, let people know that you're a local business, you can do that as well. It doesn't have to be
that's right.
for somebody. It can, let people know about your business or organization here in town.
That's right.
Yeah.
It just be something that you're doing that's nice philanthropy.
Exactly, because our here the Rotary Club in Westerly is very active in supporting community needs, and this is a fundraiser. So we have some hard costs that we have to meet first of all, but after that we are going to be generating money to give back to the community, and we do that in a host of ways. We talked about earlier about the scholarship auction dinner, where we're giving away $15,000 to local high school students, but we support organizations like the Johnny Cake Center. We support the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center. We are doing
Pee-wee football,
a host of different things.
Yeah. Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts,
Yep.
Granite Theater,
Yep.
the United.
Yeah, it's the list goes on,
And
on
certainly
on.
the chorus of Westerly.
Right, through our concession stand at Summer Pops. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Right.
Because every penny that is collected at that concession stand goes to the chorus,
And then some.
because their expenses are enormous, and they only grow every year. They really do.
And it's a labor of love for us. We, the money we get, we give away. That's it's there's no, we're not we're not taking expenses out of that. We are taking that money and we are giving it back to the community and organizations that are in need.
Absolutely.
So again, when you're thinking about that brick, it's not only to commemorate somebody, but it's to help somebody. Every brick that's sold is helping somebody in this community.
You do a lot for this club, and one of the things you do, and you do so well, and you now have a microphone and a mouth and an opportunity, is membership.
Membership, yes, indeed.
And
that is my latest role is membership chair. So
and you do very well.
Right. Yeah, I'm a lot of things, but bashful is not one of them. I love to talk about Rotary, and we are a growing family. So if the things that we've been talking about and the organizations that we support, if that strikes a note with you and you say, boy, I want in, I want to be part of that group that's helping all these organizations and people in town and coming to the aid when natural disasters happen, then very easy to come and see what we're all about. You can call me directly on my cell phone, which is area code 401-787-5575. And
He'll buy you dinner.
And I'll buy you dinner. We'll bring you down to a meeting. We'll introduce you to the cast of characters that we have.
And that we have, too.
Yes, there is no doubt about it.
I mean, you're looking at a demographic of probably, I guess Brandon's probably our baby, right? More than
Yep.
Janet.
Yep.
So early 30s, I would say, to this June 100. We will have a member turn 100. So yes,
if you fit in between those numbers,
yeah, we'd love to have
meet
you.
And our meetings are on Monday nights at 5:30 at the Olean Center down on Airport Road, right next to Rotary Park,
Rotary Park.
where we're putting in the brick walkway. And if you give me a call beforehand, as Rona said, I'd be happy to put a food order in and have you join us for dinner. The meetings run from 5:30 to 7 p.m. sharp. Hard stop at 7.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't go on and on and on. I see Roxy the radio
She
dog
always has
is
to make an appearance.
now on camera.
Look at that face.
Yes.
So yeah, we'd love to have you down, and we meet every Monday, and then we have incredible speakers that come in to talk about things that they're involved in the community and beyond. So it's an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the community. Certainly meet people that are movers and shakers right here in Westerly, and get involved with an organization that is all about helping people.
For people who might have just tuned in and are watching us either on YouTube or Weirdsterly or
Facebook,
or there's one I'm forgetting.
321 YouTube, 321 Facebook, Weird Sterly YouTube,
Yeah.
and Weird Sterly Facebook, and on the weirdsterly.com stream,
But there's another one we're forgetting.
radio.co.
Nope, another one. Anyway, if you are listening to us, watching us, you might have missed when we talked about the scholarship auction. It's very important, and I think you should have at it.
Yeah, so it is one of our primary fundraising events. And the money that we raise at our scholarship auction dinner, which is on June 7th of this year at the Chorus of Westerly Hall, is divided between our charitable giving fund, which supports a myriad of different organizations and supports the needs of people in Westerly, along with our scholarship auction fund, our scholarship fund, which offers $15,000 in scholarships to Westerly high school students or high school students from Westerly, regardless of where you are attending. We collect items and services that we were able to auction off that evening, and we have Cal Lord and Bob Elmer as our auctioneers, and it is an incredibly fun night.
Yeah, you will do a lot of laughing.
Oh, and the food is incredible. It really is not only my favorite Rotary event, but my favorite event of the year.
Yeah.
It's just, it brings people from the community together for a common good. I mean, we're there to raise money to help kids fray the cost of escalating.
And there's
educational-
also no pressure. No one is going to push someone and say, hey, you haven't bid on this. You have, there's something there for just about everyone. But if you choose to have a delicious dinner, a lot of laughs, and nothing fits as far as I like this, but I can't afford it, or I looked at the other items and I don't think I can use it, that's fine.
No.
There's no judgment.
Absolutely not. And it's a great way to meet Rotarians. If you want to see
Yes.
what the Rotary Club is all about, come join us on June 7th, because that is the Rotary Club of Westerly at its best.
And I don't think we talked about that. We talked about how they could donate stuff
Mhm.
by going, everything was Ted's store. Ted's going to get a lot of business at that store. But nobody talked about if I want to be a Rotarian other than to call you, right?
Yep.
That's the quickest way to find out. And again, there is no pressure. If you come to a meeting, you don't have people clustered around you, pushing you, asking you to sign up. You're not asked to sign up that night anyway.
No,
We
that's-
don't do it that
Right.
way.
And the flip side of the coin is you won't be sitting at a table by yourself feeling
Yes.
uncomfortable. You will have the fellowship of the Rotary Club front and center, and that's what it is. It's fellowship. And when I first came to the Rotary Club, I went to my first meeting, and people were just nice to me. And I heard about what they were doing, and I was sold
They didn't know you.
They
That's
didn't
why.
know me except you. You came up to me, and it was one of those situations.
Oh dear,
where
you're gonna.
Are you related to Dylan Temel?
Oh, that's right.
When you're when
He
you're,
has a very famous son.
when you're recognized by your at that point 13-year-old son, 14-year-old son.
Yeah.
It's I said yes, I am. So.
Aw, proud
Yeah.
Papa.
Well, Dylan Temel was at the Granite Theater, at Theater by the Sea, at the Chorus, right? I mean, he
Shakespeare. He was big at Shakespeare.
Shakespeare in the Park.
Yeah, he did that.
He
as
did
well.
everything.
Yeah, he loved the arts
Yeah.
that this town had to offer were right up his alley.
And there's even more now than when he was growing up.
I know, it's amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah, that's right. I had forgotten. Well, how many Temels do you meet? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
think
true.
about it.
We're the only ones in town. I know that much.
I'm
That's
not
like-
part of the Rotary, but I also worked with the Rotary. So you can volunteer. You guys do stuff all the time.
Sure.
Absolutely.
You don't have to commit to it. Just
No,
help
we
out.
do
I think we-
cleanups,
What are you
do-
doing May 17th? And can you paint? Oh, yes, you can.
I could paint.
You just painted that beautiful set at the Granite.
I did.
Yes,
helped.
you did.
Not by myself.
But
not that tall.
you just yeah, we will be painting at the Olean Center, helping spruce up the place.
Ooh,
a
that's
day of
And-
fun.
service, and probably a little bit of weeding and gardening as well. I'm guessing.
That's right, and that's her specialty. You have done planting
I
for the
did.
Olean Center.
I did planting for the Olean Center just because. And then but earlier that year I helped you guys clean up Rotary Park.
Yeah,
I got a
you were
coffee out of the deal.
broadcasting too from there
Yeah.
while they were cleaning up Rotary Park.
Yeah. I mean, I pushed play and then I came and played in the park.
That's it.
Yeah,
I like the just because. Sometimes that feels the best.
Yeah.
You do something just because.
That was
Just
so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing their sensory garden and yeah, I only broke like 2 things. Yeah, I did pretty good.
they remember you. I'm
Yeah, they
sure.
do. They love
Mm.
me.
Yeah.
I only broke 2 things.
That's why I stay away from painting and weeding and yes. But that's another thing. Nobody forces you to do things. You do what you're good at or you have the time to do.
Or you're passionate about.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, last year, the day of service, no, I didn't go. I went 2 years ago and brought in the coffee and some goodies and stuff. I'm not a gardener and I'm a horrendous painter. They'd have to have somebody come paint over my work. So if it's something else, I'm happy to do it. But if it's that, no, but there's plenty of things that Rotary does that I do get involved in and love.
That's for sure. And it's all
And it's just fun.
right.
It really is. It is just so much fun.
Yeah. And it's I always say too that, I really didn't feel completely invested and part of this community until I joined Rotary. And I just
Wow.
once I did, I just felt I was going around town.
You realize
I knew more
that's a
people.
quote for a brochure.
Yes.
It really is.
Seriously,
that was
like the best advertisement ever.
I know.
Somebody write that down.
I know. I didn't feel fully invested in this community till I joined Rotary. I don't think it's something I'm going to forget. That's
No,
great.
But it's true. It's, it really made me feel you meet so many people and you really just become a part of. And
Yeah.
it's a good
And
thing.
it's, we also work with the Lions.
We do.
I look down there and it makes me think of them because in December, when it gets dark at 4:15 and we're up here feeling grumbly and growly, we look down there and there was that gorgeous Christmas tree that the Lions provided. And between that and the big stars around that the chamber's done and the merchants, this whole place lights up and it makes you so happy to live here.
certainly
really does. But you might want to talk about what we do with the Lions every November.
We do. We partner with the Lions, and the benefactor of that incredible evening, which is our pasta dinner at the Calabrese Club, is the Emergency Fuel Fund. And we raise money for the Emergency Fuel Fund every year. And it is another incredible event where people from the town come out for a pasta dinner. and it is a who's who. People coming in the door.
Oh, yeah.
It is just a wonderful night.
You kind of say, if all these people have come in and I know them, is there anybody left out there in town driving, or, are they home watching TV? Because you just see everybody in town.
Right.
You see politicians, and you see people in the arts, and people from other clubs, and your neighbors, and you meet the kids of the people. I can remember couple of years ago when Brigitte came from the library, and she comes every year, and she brought her husband and her 2 boys. And I've heard her talk about these 2 little guys, and
I know, it's
we
good to
met 'em.
finally meet them.
Yeah, and then
Like,
she
do you
came
really
the
have
next
kids?
year, and they weren't so little, and then she
Right.
came the next year, and they were really eating. But that's great. Like you said, you saw that girl grow up that we gave a scholarship to.
Right. And it's, people say, Westerly is an amazing community. They've got beautiful beaches. We've got the ocean house. We've got this, we've got that. But Westerly, the community of Westerly is the people. I mean, it is
Sure.
really the people. And when you get involved and you get to know these people, you realize why Westerly really is so special.
My mom always, like, we come off air and she'll call me. We talk pretty much every day. And she's like, did they really do all that stuff they say? They don't really do that all, right? And I'm like, of course they, what, you think we made it up for the show? She's like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know. They really do all that? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. And people go?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the people go. If they
Yeah.
didn't go, we
She's
wouldn't
like
have.
blown away. I
Yeah,
told her she can retire out here.
yeah. A lot of people have
They have
retired out here.
Mhm.
I mean, I was at, and you were too, last Friday at the art opening at the art co-op, artists cooperative gallery of Westerly, AGAW.
There we go.
Down at the train station. They're just wonderful, and they've got a fantastic display, for lack of a better word, or show this month. But I talked to a man that had moved here, trying to remember where he told me he moved from. It was somewhere in Massachusetts. And he said he had come here to visit a few times. He had friends here. And he said, when I retire, I want to come here.
Aw.
And he said he's been here 6 or 8 months. And I said, where exactly do you live? And he said, Westerly. I wouldn't live anywhere else. I told the realtor, that's what I'm doing, Westerly.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was so great to hear that.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that evening. I went there, and here is a prime example of how this community operates and how organizations partner. Went there was a nice open bar. I went and chatting with the lady behind the bar and hearing a little bit more about the Artists Cooperative Gallery of Westerly. And
Yeah,
what
that's
they're
a
doing.
mouthful.
Yeah. And she had mentioned that some of their artists volunteer in the summer at the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center to have art classes.
Oh.
And they said, our artists volunteer to teach the children. I think they're 10 to 12 kids. But we have trouble with, we need to get art supplies. And I went to
And art supplies are
right.
expensive.
And I went to I happened to be having a board meeting and talked to the Rotary Club board, and they said we would love to make a donation to support that event. And they, in turn, had said, well, why don't we maybe donate some artwork for your scholarship auction dinner? And this is how community organizations work together for the greater good.
So DJ Gadget's mom, yeah, that's for real. That is for real.
Yeah, and
Just that
happened last
story.
Friday.
Yeah.
So
I think that's wonderful. I really do. Everybody in this community comes out to help whenever there is a need.
Right.
And that's been going on. I mean, our show started its 7th year last week. And in all those years, I cannot remember ever having a guest or an organization saying, we have a need for this, or we have to have that they don't get it.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
whether it's clothing or food or money or just participation. This is a great community.
Can I put you on the spot?
Sure.
One very special remembrance from the Rotary Club happened during COVID, when I think you were president and you received a call from a woman whose father lived up here and was concerned about
Oh,
him
yes.
getting food.
That's right. She called. She was from Florida.
Mhm.
And her father was elderly and not very mobile. And we just kind of snapped into action and made sure. And as a matter of fact, it was Donna Selico, not even a member of the club. Her husband is. But she said, well, that's not going to happen. And she went over there and met the man and delivered food, I think, every Tuesday or
Aw.
whatever. But she was there all the time until the daughter called and said, now we've got it under control. He's better. And I had forgotten about that entirely.
And this wasn't, a pizza from Pizza Place. This was
Oh, this
home-cooked
was-
meals that
yes.
were being delivered to this
Yeah.
gentleman. And if that doesn't tug at your heartstrings, I don't know what will, because I still get, chills when I think about that. Like, that's what the Rotary Club is all about.
That's
Well-
another person, though. Donna Selico, she does whatever she can for this community. I just saw her at a blood drive.
Well, you talk about during COVID. I will talk this up. On March 20th of 2020, we started an initiative. I know you were part of it. You've helped out quite a bit, where people were told they had to stay in. And suddenly they couldn't go to the Johnny Cake Center or the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center or RICAN to get food for meals. And I am not the kind of person that's ever going to be told I got to stay in or stay home or stay anywhere. And I said, I got to get out every day. So we came up with the idea of we will deliver. We could not go in their homes. Our insurance doesn't cover that, and it wouldn't have been a good idea anyway. But we went and did the shopping and got the packaging from Johnny Cake, Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center, RICAN, when they would call, and we would bring it to these people. And we're still doing it.
Yeah.
We don't have anywhere near the amount of people we had. I have a feeling that may increase with what's happening right now. Although today's news was certainly a lot brighter about the tariffs. We
Right.
at least have a 3-month hold maybe, or a pause.
Mm.
But still, people are nervous. People are scared. And money is going to be in short supply, and there will be more clients at these places.
Mm.
So you will find, if you get the Westerly Sun, every single night it is in the paper in the list of help and self-help. It's usually on page 3, and they list all the different organizations and places you can go. And it will say the Westerly Rotary Club will deliver food and pick up prescriptions. And it's my phone number. It's actually my home phone number.
Mhm.
And very rarely do we get that call, although I did hear from a man just a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's something we've done as well.
Mhm.
Not to blow our own horn, just to say, this is what we do.
Yes.
We
indeed.
raise money and we give it away, like you said.
Yeah.
We also give our hearts away in service.
You're right.
That
You're right.
is what we do.
Yep.
You've got about another 5 minutes to make your pitch for these bricks,
Yes, indeed.
and then we're going to let you go to Paris.
All right.
He made us stop here before going to Paris.
Before I say au revoir. Au revoir.
If you're good at, can you pronounce French?
No.
Oh.
You got the wrong
We need
guy.
Dylan, Temel.
That's right.
Well,
It's the other one.
we have a guest next week with a French last name that I'm going to bastardize shortly, but you go ahead.
The roar?
So our brick walk fundraiser is to create a brick walkway that will run between the parking lot at Rotary Park and the Children's Garden, 900 feet. And we are asking community members that enjoy and appreciate that park to consider purchasing a brick with a special message on it. You can commemorate it to a loved one that's passed. You can say how much you've enjoyed the park over the years, taking your children or grandchildren down there.
Anniversary gift, wedding gift.
If you're a local business and you just want people to know about you, you can buy a brick and put a little message in there from your company.
We should have a brick that says "Drop it off at Ted's store." Just one brick like that.
That's right. So this is an ongoing project, but we will be doing the first installation of bricks in the fall. So we would like more bricks that we can sell now. The fewer bricks we have to pull out and put down in the second phase of this ongoing fundraiser. The money that we collect from this will pay our hard costs up front and then go into our charitable giving fund that supports all the organizations we've been talking about for the past hour. If you are interested in buying a brick, you can go to the Rotary Club website, and that is westerlyrotary.org. And there will be information on how to purchase a brick. If you are down at Rotary Park, we are going to be setting up the QR codes where you can just snap and it'll bring you right to the website and you can order online. If you'd like to call, you can call me directly, and it's Derin Temel, and my cell number is 401-787-5575. And
if you're driving, take a screenshot now.
There you go. And I'd be happy to give you more information.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to come to a Rotary meeting, while I have you on the phone, we can arrange that as well.
And he also has a watch he can sell you. I just expect you to open up a coat and have all these things.
Oh my God. Can we get you a coat?
Now, Derin, you do a phenomenal job. I mean, you really are the definition of a Rotarian.
It's a collaborative effort. Let's be honest here.
And again, that is not in any way to minimize the wonderful work the Lions Club does here, the Elks Club does in town, and all the other organizations, our friends at the Dante Society, etc.
Yep.
Next week, believe it or not, it comes around so fast. The third Wednesday of the month is the month that the movie guy comes to town. Bill Doherty from the Mystic Luxury Cinemas, the All South County Cinemas, the Madison Cinemas, and the Westbrook Cinemas. He will be here, and never a lack of words.
I love that guy.
He has always, and great stories. I mean, they go back to when he was 3 years old and toddled around after his father, who was building theaters. That was his background. And he'll tell anybody who wants to listen, and even if you don't want to listen, that when he was 3 years old, he decided in Danbury, Connecticut, watching his father, that when he grew up, he was going to build and open theaters. And that's what he does. And he always lets us know what movies are coming up, what's out there. And it's a fascinating business. I can say DJ Gadget and I have learned so much in all these years, stuff you wouldn't even imagine about running a theater and how to do it. And he's really a great guest. And we are also going to have, the first name I've got down, Charisse, almost like that stuff that the Portuguese people put in their omelets.
Duror.
Charisse, I think it's Duror too.
It is Duror.
Well, she married a Maroon. It's so much easier to say Maroon. She will be here talking about Neighbor Day. Remember Neighbor Day? Well, it's back.
Yay.
It was something that was begun by Mary Jane DeMeo years and years ago when she was on the town council. And it just kind of petered out after a while. They do it the same day or the same weekend as the Garden Market Fair in the park. I believe it's May 18th, but I'm not 100% sure. But Charisse will be here to tell us all about it and what they have involved, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So as I say every week, have a good week, be good to each other, take chances, but not on the road. Just take a risk. It's good for you. This is Man About Town, a production of 321 Media. Thank you, DJ Gadget.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roxy the radio dog. Thank you, DJ Gadget's mother and Derin. And we'll see you all next week.
Do you want to get your business in front of over 100,000 viewers every month? Advertise with 321 and enjoy the best value in local advertising while supporting free community live streams. Your message will be seen across live high school sports, morning shows, and local events, connecting you directly with engaged audiences, boosting your visibility, growing your brand, and helping us keep these broadcasts accessible to everyone for free. Partner with 321 today and watch your business thrive.